We got some news to get into this week. Tons of stuff still going on in WoW, bug fixes, all kinds of shit happening. But before we get into all of that, let me talk a little bit about some the way these things work, okay? Void assaults, void strikes, void incursions, void devoid, whatever the fuck you want to call them. There's so many different names now. I want to get these straight before we get into this shit. So first of all, void strikes, okay? And void assaults. What are void assaults? Void assaults are made up of two things, void strikes and void incursions. The void strikes are these tiny little quests that you can do off base. They're just in the zone that the void assaults are currently going to be active in. So going around doing these void strikes are like 5-minute quests. Everybody's been doing them right now. You get some rewards for them. You get a little field pouch once these things are done. Doing the void strikes eventually leads to the big boy, the void incursions, okay? I don't know how Blizzard comes up with these names, but void incursions are essentially the big boss, fill up the bar, and the big boss boy's gonna come down, and you're gonna kill him when all that shit's done. These void incursions take a bigger group, a full group of people. By group, I mean like a raid-worthy level of people in the zone to actually complete this thing, while void strikes are more just single player getting that shit done. And ritual sites are the other thing. We've done a couple of these things now on stream. Ritual sites are your instanced, basically 1 to 5 man instance content that you get in there, you get that shit done, you pick the tier difficulty, you could add some affixes to that stuff, and these things actually fill out your vault and give you really good rewards. The best single-player rewards in the games right now are basically gotten through these. So that's the entire system right now. Try to remember that, because I'm going to talk about a couple of these things here. Void strikes, void incursions, those make up void assaults, and then we got the void ritual sites, okay? So let's get into some of the stuff we're going to talk about here. First of all, completing the Void Assault achievements in Zul'Aman. Right now, if you're an achievement hoe and you want to get out and get this shit done, it's a good time, obviously, to get it done. Zul'Aman is the current active zone. So these achievements are zone required, basically. So you got, right now, Zul'Aman's where these things are happening. You're also going to have Eversong Woods will be the flip when reset happens this week. That'll start, that will be where the incursions and shit are happening. So bouncing between the two, you can only do the achievements for that specific zone during that 1 week time lapse. So you only got a couple weeks to get this shit done during this patch. So if you really want to get the ones done for Zul'Aman right now, here are all the achievements you can get done, all the ways you can do them. There are quite a few of them, and like I said, if you're an achievement chasing person, you're going to have a limited amount of weeks that you can do each one of these, so you might want to get started on them. As far as farming voidlight marl, this is the currency right now that we're using to purchase the mounts and all the gear and the transmog and shit that has to do with this current iteration of WoW, okay? So this current event has a few transmogs that you can get. Obviously, the Tier 2 set is the one that a lot of people want to get, the purple version of it. And right now, people have been farming voidlight marl. People have found that the best way to farm voidlight marl is actually through those ritual sites. Getting into a Tier 5 ritual site, specifically doing it with 5 people, actually makes it a little bit easier. Going through these, blasting through them, these are unlimited, okay? These are not like Mythic Plus where you can only do a few or only one and you get a weekly lockout on this shit. You could spam these things. So going through, Tier 5s give you 280 Voidlight Marl, 100 Coffer Key Shards. So these are really good to do. You can get in, finish these things out pretty quick, and just continue to spam them. These, based on what the player base is currently reporting, are the quickest and best way to farm this shit if you actually want to get the farming in. Another way players are farming this is a bit more degenerative. It's a bit more WoW player-based style, and that's going AFK inside active Void Assault zones. So players have realized that if you just sit AFK within Void Strike zones or Void Incursion zones, you actually get credit for them without doing anything. So finishing... What the fuck happened to the music? So finishing those out is not requiring anybody to kill any single mob, to actually click on any clickable loot or anything like that. You can literally just stand there and get credit for these things being finished if you're just in the zone or near the actual quest area where these are being done. So what's happening actually is a lot of players are just AFKing in these zones, making these things actually take a bit longer than they're supposed to. So I'm sure Blizzard might hotfix this thing eventually, but right now, if you want to be a complete degen, just head to the zone with the active sites and incursions going down and just stand there. Just stand there and you'll collect all the rewards. Now, you're going to get less basically for not killing mobs. These dark particles and stuff that you can loot from enemies, these won't be something you'll get. You also get field accolades for killing certain mobs. You're not going to get as many, so it's going to take you a bit longer to farm these things, but hey, if you're working from home or something, you just need to AFK for a little bit, why not do it in an active assault zone? So a little bit of a tip there, also not a tip or just the tip, because I wouldn't like to think that players are just going to sit here all AFK in a zone, making these things take forever because nobody's actually doing them. But there you go. For now, this is a way that's working. Mythic Keystone achievements are officially now active in the game. Yes, these things actually got patched in with the 12.0.5 patch, but they were disabled because they were bugged, like many things. Blizzard essentially disabled WoW for a little bit because of how bugged this shit was. But this is now active, so if you have a 3400 IO, you can get the new mount achievement. You can go ahead and pick your mount. So you'll get the full list of Keystone mounts here. You'll be able to pick from older Keystone mounts. You'll be giving the Void Warp saddle, or Time Lost saddle, I should say, and that thing allows you to pick from previous Mythic Keystone Master mounts. So Mythic Keystone Master mounts are the old, they're the achievement mounts that you've gotten for previous seasons. All of these are now available on this list to use the time slot saddle on. If you already have the rating, you'll just, retroactively already be given the achievement and be able to pick. And if you're still cranking out to try to get the achievement, which most people are, this is a good little kind of thing to strive for this season. I like that Blizzard added these in. Don't forget, Blizzard also added in the top 1% achievement. So that's one that people will be able to get. But these are the models. You can go ahead and chase these things. There's also recolors. So these are a few recolors of the older models that exist in the game. These never existed before. These are certain colorways. So if you've gotten Keystone Master every single season, there's still something to strive for with this achievement. You'll be able to pick between these recolors of these mounts. So that's pretty cool. We also have undocumented Dragonflight raid boss nerfs. So if you didn't know, the Dragonflight raid was opened up basically to single player, single man raid clears, so people can go in there and actually try to complete that shit and get some of the loot that maybe they've been wanting to get from Dragonflight raids. Well, it's a little bit difficult, still been hard, even though Blizzard changed some of the mechanics up to make sure that it's single player enabled. So recently with 12.0.5, players have actually found that a bunch of these bosses have actually been nerfed. Well, so we got Bloodkeeper, Diurna, and Vault of the Incarnates. We also have Rashok the Elder and Scale Commander Sakareth in Aberrus. And then finally, in Amirdrasil, we have a bunch of them. Gnarlroot, Laradar, the Keeper of Flames, Naomi, Tindral Sage Swift, and Farak have all received nerfs, making them a bit easier to do on solo. So if you're running out of things to do in the game, you just want to run around and kill some bosses on your own, with a bit of a challenge still, because we're still getting geared out here, so this is still a bit difficult. But you can in fact solo the old Dragonflight raids a bit easier now since 12.0.5 has gone live. Now, speaking of 12.0.5 and the bugs that have happened, the DPS charts have been all over the place. At one point, Unholy went from second on the chart to bottom of the chart in a single day because of some bug that was stopping their scythe from working properly. We've also seen Marksmanship Hunter rise and then fall again due to a bug. We saw, for Demon Hunters, we saw Devourers shoot up to the top, basically had a 10% gap between them and everybody else because of a bug. That shit's been fixed. So right now, looking at the current raid charts, we've seen a couple of things happen that basically left the charts in this current state. So the current state right now is Augmentation Evoker sitting at the very top here. This is for overall boss damage, I believe. Yeah, overall boss damage 12.0.1. And this is the change that happened here, sitting with Shadow Priest now on top in 12.0.5. So this is your current state right here. This is where the people currently stand. We've seen Shadow Priests have a meteoric rise recently since the 12.0.5 changes have gone live, followed by Augmentation Evoker, Frost Mage, Ass Rogue, Feral Druid, Devour Demon Hunter, Retribution Paladin, Frost DK, Marksmanship Hunter, Outlaw Rogue, Elemental Shaman, and Unholy Death Knight. Now, I will preface Unholy Death Knight by saying there are still changes, I think, or fixes happening. It's been a bit bugged. So I don't know where Unholy is going to actually land when all is said and done, but they've risen literally to second, then all the way to the bottom, following below Furry Warriors there at the bottom. Nobody should be below Furry Warriors. We all know that. And everywhere in between. So Unholy's been bouncing around quite a bit lately. From the bottom, speaking of furries, Furry Warrior down here, as I said before, Enhancement Shaman, Arcane Mage, Beast Mastery Hunter, Affliction Warlock, Balanced Druid, Devastation Evoker, Windwalker Monk, Warlock for Destro here, and then Fire Mage. That's going from the bottom up. So there you go. Your mid-tier boys right now are Sub-Titty Rogue, Demonology Warlock, and Arms Warrior. Those are sitting in the mid with Havoc Demon Hunter as well. So the charts are kind of moving a lot. Typically, I wouldn't say what's on the charts just yet, as we're kind of still like midweek before the next reset, but they've been moving so much, I figured it was worth kind of talking about here. And finally, China continues to win, guys. I mean, they're just winning. Now, winning in a way because they deal with loot boxes over there, which would be an absolute fucking rideable offense here in America and all the other, NA-based servers / Oceanic servers. But for China, loot boxes are a regular thing, and they continue to get some crazy-ass mounts out of these things. So we obviously know the classic, the Spectral Tiger. Yeah, the Swift Spectral Tiger, or the Pectral Tiger. That would be a badass-looking one. Sitting here now, available in a loot box from China. Yes, this thing is available in a loot box, so they'll be spending their money to try to get this legendary mount from WoW. But they're also getting some additional mounts. We've already looked at the Revendreth one, which is absolutely freaking glorious. I keep saying we got to get this one in some sort of time-walking event or something. I don't know how they can remix. Give me Shadowlands remix just to get that mount. That'd be fine. They also got these Shaw mounts recently. So these Shaw-inspired mounts freaking look amazing. This Owl Boy looks extra cool with the black and the kind of bright blue or whitish blue tinge. Classic, Shaw-looking colors. They keep getting these really cool customized mounts. I don't know if we're ever going to get these things in our version of the game, but right now China continues to receive multiple Ws. The art team's just really focusing on them, giving these amazing looking mounts. We'll see if they ever show up on our end. Will the Spectral Tiger ever show up? I hope not. I hope not, because this shit would literally break the game. I don't know. It would be crazy. It would be great for content, though. I always say that. But overall, China continues to get these crazy-ass mounts. I'll continue to report on them as they do. Get those assaults done, AFK in your zones if you have to, and look at those DPS charts as they're continuing to move on a daily basis. For today, that is all in terms of news.